This is October the 2nd, in the middle of the holiday of National Day. The old man living right opposite us decides to sell some of his pigs to the local vendor. He lives alone most of the time through the year. Well, at this moment, there are 5 other members of the family with him. His wife comes back from Hangzhou, the #1 destination of labor for people in this area. He has 2 sons. The younger son, as the father of 2 children, divorced last year. He is a cook. His life is in a mess. Down with gambling and drinking. Now the adult you can see on the right side of the cage is the elder son. The man on the other side of the cage is the butcher, who comes to buy the pigs from them. The elder son this time comes to visit with his family of 4, 2 children and his wife. The elder son is a much more responsible man. My wife Lan Lan told me, ironically, when the 2 sons were little, it was actually the elder one who took the rap from their father. Pulling pig is not easy job. It takes 4 to 5 adults to push, pull, and fix the pig. Now the man on the right side, in white shirt with a bonnet on, is the man I'm talking about. He is 72 years old. He is always loud. He sounds and looks full of beans. He is a carpenter and still quite busy, although he had the gallbladder excised years ago. He doesn't smoke, but likes boozing out with friends. He is much more generous with his friends than with his family. He is one of the few who still raise pigs in this village. He used to raise only 2 or 3, but now he has a couple of them. To which we complained because of the smell we got. More in summer than in other seasons. I noticed that we got the smell mainly in the morning, between like 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. You know what? The number of pigs he has is actually over the limit set by the office. Anyways, as a city person, I don't like the smell, but I can do with it. In the first few years after I met Lan Lan in the year 2011, every time I came here to visit, I got quite dizzy over the smell. Because at that time, there were several pigsties that were owned by one person, located just next to the house. Those pigsties were not supposed to be even at that time, because they polluted the stream, therefore against the regulation that was already in place. The later removal of the mini pig farm had a lot to do with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is a hard-working woman, which I don't think is unusual in rural China, and not an extraordinary character of human being from my perspective, to be honest. What makes her admirable is that she is tenacious and talented. Tenacious because for years she didn't stop filing petitions to a higher office. Talented as her articles were convincing literature, which is rare among rural folks, as most of them go to school to a very limited extent, especially for women. The man is going to sell 5 pigs today, the majority of the stock. The pigs weigh between 250 pounds to 320. He started raising them as piggies after the Chinese New Year in January. Pork is cheap. Individual pig raisers don't make money. She bought the piggies in at the price of 300 yuan each, which is 41 US dollars. He now ends up selling 5 pigs at the price of 11,000 RMB, or 1,500 US dollars. His net profit is little, after detracting the major cost, pig feed. This is probably one of the main reasons why individuals no longer raise pigs. Well, the butcher, as we heard from a bird, is able to make on average 100 US dollars out of each pig in the whole process of buying, killing, cleaning, and selling. His daily turnover is a pig also. In rural area here, labor apart, this is good income. The butcher runs the only butchers in this entire village proper, although people have different means to get their pork, and there are other shops who sell pork in pots. The old man's grandchildren are looking on, and they see this. The second pig, when driven into the cage, let off a good deal of urine and droppings, on sight of which their younger grandson exclaimed his fuss and dislike. At that moment, their grandmother, seemingly in an attempt to amaze and amuse the grandson, pounced and removed the droppings with her bare hands in her own laughter. You can think as much. That made the boy let out a dramatic shout of disgust. The lady works as a housekeeper for a family in Hangzhou. Part of her job is to take care of a paralyzed old man in the family. If you know a bit about Chinese hukou and how people in the country are bound by their inferior identity as a farmer, you definitely understand better if I say this. In China, people in the country live on their flesh, blood, and hands. On the contrary, people in the city live with a mouth beneath a layer of skin. As to the destiny of their nation fellows, it's not that city people in China are not aware at all, but rather that people are insensitive and have taken it for granted, just like many other key issues in this society. In one word, the city people don't understand the country people as much as the country people don't understand the fate of their own. Both live in intellectually hermetic environments. By the way, the old man's elder son works in a mine, and we got to know that he recently hurt himself and is in hospital. He is the only bread earner for his family of 4. The good thing for him is that he can retire earlier at the age of 50 due to his job that poses a threat to health. This gentleman is another neighbor of ours. He lives alone. He has a son who works as a courier in a city. He used to be a painter in construction. He stopped working years ago due to the health problem that was caused by the poisonous paints manufactured in China. He is one of the huge population who can live without Douyin, TikTok in China. And he is a tremendous group that is vehemently targeted by rebel-rousers, like the video he is watching now. I have to say the Mandarin spoken in this program is sleazy in at least 3 aspects. First, too strong an accent. Second, pronunciation substandards, which cannot be excused by accent alone. Third, poor syntax. Words are scrambled for back and forth to convey one simple meaning.